During my formative years at a boys' grammar school, I, along with several of my school friends, became acquainted, through the wholesome activities of a local church youth club, with a number of young ladies from two nearby girls' grammar schools, Rains Foundation and Coburn. These friendships were conducted with the utmost propriety, though it must be said that, as is often the case with youth, there was a certain innocent curiosity regarding the customs and expectations of the opposite sex. On occasion, playful games would arise, often involving gentle admonishments or a light tap as a means of correcting minor mischief. Such actions, always conducted in the spirit of good-natured fun, were understood by all as a reflection of the values of discipline and decorum so prized in our society. It is perhaps telling that, in those days, a gentle reprimand was often considered a more effective means of instilling good behaviour than more forward displays of affection. These friendships continued until the age of 16, when some young ladies left school for full-time employment and found new circles of companionship. Among our group, there was one young lady, whom we shall call Miss Daffers, who displayed a particularly strong inclination towards the moral lessons imparted by authority figures. I have, in fact, recounted her story in previous writings and left one episode unresolved. The occasion when she found herself alone with our esteemed headmaster in his study, having expressed her wish to receive a formal caning as a consequence of her involvement in an altercation outside of school. The incident in question, which involved a disagreement with boys from a neighbouring secondary modern school at a youth club, resulted in police involvement and, regrettably, 2 boys requiring hospital treatment. As a result, I and 2 others were caned by the headmaster for bringing the school into disrepute. For those interested in further details, I refer you to my earlier account. It is important to clarify that Miss Daffers' interest in such disciplinary measures was always centred upon the presence of an authoritative figure which she regarded as essential to the lesson being imparted. One of the most significant events in her young life occurred at the age of 15, when she orchestrated a situation in which she received a traditional over-the-knee spanking administered over her undergarments from a visiting clergyman staying at the vicarage adjacent to the youth club. She repeatedly let down the tyres of his bicycle, ensuring she would be discovered and thus receive the appropriate correction. This episode, which she recounted many times, was for her a memorable lesson in the importance of respect for authority and the consequences of one's actions. Such experiences, while perhaps unusual by today's standards, were regarded at the time as valuable opportunities for moral instruction and personal growth. Miss Daffers was a frequent visitor to our school for various events and open days. I recall that she harboured a certain admiration for some of our teachers and would sometimes seek their attention in ways that, while spirited, always remained within the bounds of propriety. One such teacher, Mr. Tate, was involved in the school film club, and on one occasion we filmed a scene depicting a boy receiving a caning, a demonstration intended to illustrate the importance of discipline and the maintenance of order. Miss Daffers graciously volunteered to participate in a future film, but her offer was politely declined by the teacher, who felt it was not appropriate. Let us now return to the aforementioned meeting between Mr. Standing, our headmaster, and Miss Daffers in his office, a story I previously left unresolved. I am pleased to have the opportunity to conclude it here, as it offers a valuable lesson in the importance of accepting the consequences of one's actions and the role of authority in guiding young people towards maturity. Miss Daffers was absent for approximately 6 minutes, a considerable length of time under the circumstances. However, the precise details of what transpired during that interval remain unknown. What is certain is that upon her return she was noticeably subdued, her expression distant, and her manner uncharacteristically quiet. It was clear that the experience had left a profound impression upon her, and she declined to discuss the matter further. Such moments, though difficult, serve as reminders of the seriousness with which discipline was regarded in our youth, and the lasting impact that moral instruction, administered with firmness and compassion, can have upon the character of a young person.